The international airport was alive with activity, a constant symphony of rolling luggage, distant chatter, and automated announcements echoing through the vast terminal. Captain Raphael Rafi del Rosario navigated the bustling crowd with ease. His casual attire, jeans and a polo shirt, allowed him to blend in among the throngs of travelers. His unassuming demeanor belied the decades of experience he carried as a Filipino-American pilot. For his pioneering contributions to aviation safety, he was en route to an aviation summit where he was scheduled to present on cutting-edge safety protocols he had helped develop. It was just another day for Rafi, though the weight of his achievements rested lightly on his shoulders. As Rafi approached a restricted area leading to the private lounge for airline crew, he was stopped by Officer Liam Carter, an airport security officer stationed near the access point. Carter, a burly man with a hardened demeanor, had earned a reputation among airport staff for his frequent profiling of travelers who didn't fit his narrow idea of who belonged. Spotting Rafi, Carter's gaze immediately sharpened, suspicion clouding his judgment. "Excuse me, sir," Carter said, stepping in front of Rafi. "This is a restricted area. Passengers aren't allowed beyond this point." Rafi offered a polite smile and reached for his ID. "I'm a pilot officer. I'm heading to the crew lounge before my flight." Carter snorted, his eyes scanning Rafi from head to toe. "A pilot, sure you are. Let me see that ID." Rafi handed over his identification, maintaining his composure despite Carter's dismissive tone. Carter glanced at the badge briefly, then shook his head. "This doesn't look legit. Where'd you get it? Some website?" A small crowd began to gather, curious onlookers drawn by the escalating tension. Rafi took a deep breath, his years of professional discipline kicking in. "Officer, I assure you my ID is valid. I've been flying for decades. If you need further verification, you can contact airport administration." Carter smirked, his condescension thinly veiled. "Flying for decades, huh? Maybe paper airplanes. You don't look like any pilot I've ever seen." The crowd murmured, some pulling out their phones to record the interaction. Among them was Laura Stevens, a prominent aviation journalist who had just disembarked from a flight. She recognized Rafi immediately. His face and name had graced the cover of several industry publications she had authored. Her brow furrowed as she approached, her journalist instincts kicking in. "What's going on here?" Laura asked, her voice cutting through the tension. Carter turned to her, irritation evident. "Just handling a security situation, ma'am. This man claims he's a pilot, but his story doesn't add up." Laura's eyes widened as she looked at Rafi, then back at Carter. "Claims? Do you have any idea who this is?" Carter raised an eyebrow, his skepticism undeterred. "Should I?" "This is Captain Raphael del Rosario," Laura said, her tone sharp. "He's one of the most respected figures in aviation. He's revolutionized safety protocols and received numerous awards for his contributions to the industry. If anyone belongs here, it's him." The onlookers gasped, their murmurs growing louder as Laura's words spread through the crowd. Carter's expression faltered, confidence wavering. "That's not what his ID looked like to me," he muttered defensively. Laura crossed her arms, her gaze piercing. "Maybe that's because you didn't bother to check properly. Or maybe you assumed he couldn't be who he said he was because of how he looks. Either way, you owe him an apology." Before Carter could respond, Airport Director Martin Hayes arrived, alerted by the commotion. Spotting Rafi, Hayes's face lit up with recognition. "Captain Del Rosario, my apologies for the delay. Is everything all right?" Rafi nodded, though his expression was tinged with frustration. "There seems to have been a misunderstanding. Officer Carter here didn't think I looked the part of a pilot." Hayes's face darkened as he turned to Carter. "Officer, Captain Del Rosario is a guest of honor at today's aviation summit. He's not only a pilot but a pioneer in the field. I expect better judgment from my staff." Carter stammered, his bravado crumbling under Hayes's stern gaze. I didn't know." "That's the problem," Laura interjected. "You didn't bother to find out before jumping to conclusions." The videos recorded by bystanders quickly found their way to social media, sparking a firestorm of outrage. Hashtags like Nana Respect Rafi and End Racial Profiling trended within hours, drawing attention to the incident from around the globe. News outlets picked up the story, amplifying its reach and sparking a broader conversation about the biases faced by professionals of diverse backgrounds. Though shaken by the experience, Rafi refused to let it overshadow his purpose at the aviation summit. Later that day, he stood before a packed audience of industry leaders, his confidence undiminished. He spoke passionately about innovation, safety, and the importance of fostering inclusivity within the aviation field. Today's skies are shared by people from every corner of the world, Rafi said, his voice steady. If we are to navigate them safely and successfully, we must recognize and value the contributions of all individuals, regardless of their background or appearance. Bias has no place in our industry, or any industry. The audience erupted into applause, rising to their feet in a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Among them was Laura, who beamed with pride as she captured the moment for her article. Meanwhile, Officer Carter watched the event coverage from a break room television, his face a mix of shame and introspection. The airport administration had placed him on suspension and mandated him to attend cultural sensitivity and professional conduct training. The footage of his encounter with Rafi played on repeat in his mind, each frame forcing him to confront the prejudices that had clouded his actions. As the summit concluded, Rafi was approached by passengers and colleagues alike, all eager to express their admiration and support. Though the day had begun with an unjust encounter, it ended with a reaffirmation of his mission to break barriers and inspire change, both in the cockpit and beyond. The story became a symbol of resilience and progress, highlighting the need for ongoing dialogue about inclusivity and respect within the aviation industry. The commotion caused by the incident at the airport did not fade quickly. As Rafi left the summit, he felt the weight of media attention on his shoulders. Social media was filled with comments about his encounter with Officer Carter, and news outlets were eager to cover the story of a pilot facing prejudice in a place where respect was expected. That night, as he settled into his hotel room, Rafi checked his phone. The screen was flooded with notifications, messages of support from colleagues, friends, and even strangers who had seen the video. Some shared their own experiences of discrimination, while others expressed admiration for his bravery in confronting Carter. However, there were also negative comments, some questioning his legitimacy as a pilot. Why do I have to deal with this? Rafi thought, feeling overwhelmed by the mix of support and criticism. He knew his mission went beyond his personal experience. It was about shedding light on a problem that affected many in the industry, but the emotional burden of being a symbol of change was heavy. The next day, Rafi was invited to participate in a morning talk show. The host, a well-known journalist in the industry, had closely followed the story and was eager to hear his perspective. As he arrived at the studio, Rafi felt a mix of nervousness and determination. He knew his voice could make a difference. During the interview, Rafi spoke about his experience. What happened to me at the airport is not an isolated case. Many professionals from diverse backgrounds face prejudice and stereotypes in their daily work. It's crucial that we talk about this to move forward as an industry, he explained, his voice firm and clear. The journalist nodded, showing her support. What changes do you think are necessary to improve inclusion in aviation? She asked. Rafi took a moment to reflect. First, we need proper training for all industry employees, from security agents to top executives. Education is key to dismantling biases. It's also vital to foster an environment where everyone feels safe to express their concerns without fear of retaliation. The conversation continued, and Rafi felt more confident as he shared his vision. By the end of the interview, he received a warm ovation from the production team and the audience present. However, he knew that the real challenge was just beginning. As the days passed, Rafi became a reference point in the fight for equality in aviation. He received invitations to speak at conferences and panels about diversity, and his story resonated in other sectors. However, it wasn't all easy. The pressure of being a leader in this movement kept him awake at night, questioning whether he was doing enough. One afternoon, while walking through a nearby park, Rafi ran into Laura, the journalist who had defended him at the airport. She greeted him with a smile and joined him for a stroll. "How are you feeling after all this?" Laura asked, her tone sincere. "It's overwhelming," Rafi admitted. "I feel like I have the responsibility to represent many, but sometimes I wonder if I can really make a difference." Laura looked at him with empathy. "Your voice is already echoing. People are joining the conversation because of you. Don't underestimate the impact you can have." Their conversation flowed naturally, and Rafi felt relieved to share his thoughts with someone who understood the magnitude of the problem. Laura proposed collaborating on an article that addressed the importance of diversity in aviation and how personal experiences could inspire meaningful change. "We could include testimonies from other pilots and aviation staff," Laura suggested. "That way we can show that you're not alone in this." Rafi felt motivated by the idea. Together, they began to gather stories from other aviation professionals who had faced discrimination and prejudice. As they spoke with more people, they realized there was a network of support in the industry that needed to be visible. Meanwhile, Carter's situation remained uncertain. The airport administration had taken disciplinary action, but Rafi knew that wasn't enough. True transformation required a cultural change, not just individual sanctions. A few days later, Rafi received an unexpected invitation. The airport director wanted to meet with him to discuss how they could work together to address discrimination and promote inclusion at the airport. Rafi felt a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Would this be a genuine opportunity for change, or just a way to placate the criticism? During the meeting, the director expressed his desire to implement a diversity training program for all airport staff. "We want to ensure that what happened to you doesn't happen again," the director said, his expression serious. "Your story has resonated worldwide, and we need to act." Rafi listened attentively, recognizing the sincerity in the director's words. "I'm willing to help in any way I can," he replied. "But we need a real commitment. This isn't just about implementing a program and forgetting about it. It must be an ongoing effort." The director nodded, showing his agreement. "We are willing to work with you and other industry leaders. We want the airport to be an example of inclusion and respect." As the meeting progressed, Rafi felt that perhaps there was a real opportunity to make a significant change. With each step he took, he realized that his story was not just his own. It was a call to action for all those who had faced prejudice in their professional lives. As he left the director's office, Rafi felt a renewed energy. He knew the road ahead would be long and filled with challenges, but he was determined to move forward. His mission was not only to fly planes, but also to elevate the voices of those who had been silenced. The story of his life was intertwining with many others, and together, they were ready to challenge the norms and build a more inclusive future in aviation. The weeks following Rafi's meeting with the airport director were a whirlwind of activity. News of his advocacy for diversity and inclusion in aviation spread rapidly, and he found himself at the center of a movement he had never anticipated leading. Media outlets sought him out for interviews, and social media buzzed with conversations about the need for change in the industry. Rafi spent hours on the phone, coordinating with Laura and various organizations interested in promoting diversity. They began drafting a comprehensive proposal for the airport's diversity training program, aiming to create a curriculum that addressed the root causes of bias and discrimination. They wanted to ensure it wasn't just a checkbox exercise, but a transformative experience for all employees. One evening, while reviewing their draft proposal, Rafi received a call from an old friend, Captain Maria Lopez, a fellow pilot who had faced her own struggles with discrimination. "Rafi, I've been following your story," she said, her voice filled with admiration. "It's inspiring to see you take a stand. We need more leaders like you in this industry." "Thanks, Maria," Rafi replied, feeling a sense of camaraderie. "I think it's time we all spoke up. I'd love to include your perspective in our proposal. Your experiences could really help shape the program." Maria agreed, and they spent the next hour discussing her experiences and the challenges faced by minority pilots. As they talked, Rafi felt a growing sense of purpose. He realized that by uniting their voices, they could create a powerful narrative that would resonate throughout the industry. As the proposal took shape, Rafi and Laura organized a meeting with key stakeholders in the aviation industry, including airline executives, union representatives, and airport officials. They aimed to present their plan and gather support for the initiative. Rafi felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as the date approached. This was a critical moment, and he knew that the success of their efforts hinged on their ability to convey the importance of the program. On the day of the meeting, Rafi arrived early, dressed in his pilot uniform. He wanted to project professionalism and authority. The conference room was filled with influential figures, and as he looked around, he felt a sense of responsibility wash over him. He was not just representing himself, he was speaking for countless others who had faced discrimination. Laura opened the meeting, setting the tone with a brief overview of Rafi's story and the events that had led to this moment. As she spoke, Rafi could see the audience's interest peaking. He felt a surge of confidence, knowing that their experiences were resonating. When it was his turn to speak, Rafi stood before the group, his heart racing. "Thank you all for being here today," he began. "I stand before you not just as a pilot, but as someone who has faced prejudice in an industry I love. My experience at the airport was not an isolated incident. It reflects a larger issue that many of us face daily." He paused, allowing his words to sink in. "We have the opportunity to change the narrative. By implementing a comprehensive diversity training program, we can create a culture of respect and inclusion in our industry. This isn't just about compliance. It's about fostering an environment where everyone feels valued and can thrive." As Rafi continued, he shared stories from other pilots and aviation professionals, highlighting the challenges they faced and the impact of discrimination on their careers. The room was silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. He could see nods of agreement and expressions of concern among the attendees. After Rafi finished, a few executives raised questions seeking clarification on specific aspects of the proposal. Rafi and Laura answered confidently, providing data and examples from other industries that had successfully implemented similar programs. The discussion grew more animated, with several attendees expressing their support for the initiative. By the end of the meeting, Rafi felt a sense of accomplishment. They had garnered significant interest, and several executives committed to collaborating on the training program. As the attendees filed out, Rafi felt a surge of hope. Change was possible, and they were on the right path. In the following weeks, Rafi, Laura, and their team worked tirelessly to finalize the training curriculum. They consulted with diversity experts, gathered feedback from industry professionals, and even organized focus groups to ensure the program addressed the real issues faced by employees. As the launch date approached, Rafi received an unexpected call from the airport director. "Rafi, I wanted to personally thank you for your hard work. We're excited to roll out the training program next month, and I believe it will make a significant impact." "Thank you, Director," Rafi replied, a smile spreading across his face. "I appreciate your support. This is just the beginning, and I'm hopeful that we can set a precedent for other airports and airlines to follow." The day of the training program launch arrived, and Rafi stood at the front of the auditorium, looking out at the diverse group of employees gathered before him. Some were skeptical, while others appeared eager to learn. Rafi took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Welcome, everyone," he began. "Today marks a significant step toward creating a more inclusive and respectful environment in our aviation community. This training is not just a requirement, it's an opportunity for us to grow and learn together." As the training progressed, Rafi shared his story, along with testimonials from other aviation professionals. The interactive sessions encouraged participants to engage in discussions about their own experiences and biases. Rafi watched as the atmosphere shifted, with employees opening up and sharing their thoughts. By the end of the day, Rafi felt a sense of fulfillment. The participants left with a renewed perspective, and many expressed gratitude for the opportunity to engage in such crucial conversations. Rafi knew that while this was just the beginning, it was a significant step toward fostering change in the industry. In the weeks that followed, Rafi continued to receive feedback on the training program. Many employees reported feeling more empowered to speak up about issues of discrimination and bias. Rafi's heart swelled with pride, knowing that their efforts were making a difference. However, he also recognized that the journey was far from over. There would always be challenges to face, and the fight for equality and inclusion in aviation would require ongoing commitment and vigilance. One evening, as he reflected on the progress they had made, Rafi received a message from Maria. "I'm so proud of what you've accomplished, Rafi. Your courage is inspiring. Let's keep pushing for change together." Rafi smiled, feeling a sense of solidarity. "Absolutely. We're just getting started. Together we can change the narrative and ensure that everyone in aviation feels valued and respected." As he looked out at the horizon, Rafi felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was not just a pilot. He was a catalyst for change, and with every flight he took, he would continue to advocate for a future where diversity and inclusion were at the forefront of the aviation industry. As the weeks turned into months, Rafi found himself deeply immersed in the ongoing efforts to promote diversity and inclusion within the aviation industry. The training program had gained traction, and more airports and airlines began reaching out to learn from their success. Rafi was invited to speak at various conferences, sharing his story and the impact of the training. One afternoon, while preparing for an upcoming conference, Rafi received a call from Laura. "Rafi, I just got off the phone with a major airline. They're interested in collaborating on a nationwide initiative to address diversity in aviation," she said, her voice brimming with excitement. "That's fantastic news," Rafi replied, feeling a surge of adrenaline. "What do they have in mind?" Laura explained that the airline wanted to create a comprehensive program that would not only focus on training, but also on mentorship and career development for underrepresented groups in aviation. They believe that by fostering a pipeline of diverse talent, they can create lasting change within the industry, she added. Rafi knew this was a pivotal moment. "Let's set up a meeting with their leadership team. This could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for." The meeting was scheduled for the following week, and Rafi spent the days leading up to it preparing meticulously. He gathered data on the benefits of diversity in the workplace, success stories from other industries, and testimonials from employees who had benefited from the training program. On the day of the meeting, Rafi arrived at the airline's headquarters, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. As he entered the conference room, he was greeted by a diverse group of executives, all eager to discuss the initiative. After introductions, Rafi took a deep breath and began his presentation. "Thank you all for having me here today. I'm excited about the possibility of collaborating with your airline to create a more inclusive environment in aviation. Our training program has already made a significant impact, and I believe we can build on that success." As he spoke, Rafi could see the executives nodding in agreement. He shared statistics about the positive effects of diversity on innovation and performance, emphasizing that a diverse workforce leads to better decision-making and improved customer satisfaction. By investing in mentorship and career development programs, we can empower underrepresented groups to thrive in this industry, Rafi continued. It's not just about filling quotas. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued and has the opportunity to succeed. After his presentation, the executives engaged in a lively discussion, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. Rafi felt encouraged by their enthusiasm and commitment to making a difference. By the end of the meeting, they had laid the groundwork for a partnership that would not only enhance their training program, but also establish a mentorship initiative aimed at nurturing diverse talent in aviation. Rafi left the meeting feeling exhilarated. This was the momentum they needed. In the following months, Rafi and Laura collaborated closely with the airline's team to develop the new program. They organized workshops, mentorship pairings, and networking events designed to connect aspiring aviation professionals with seasoned experts. Rafi was particularly passionate about the mentorship aspect, believing that personal connections could inspire and empower the next generation. As the initiative launched, Rafi found himself mentoring several young pilots and aviation students. He loved sharing his experiences, offering guidance, and helping them navigate the challenges of the industry. Each interaction reinforced his belief in the importance of representation and support. One day, Rafi received a message from a young pilot named Jasmine, who had recently joined the mentorship program. "Thank you for believing in me, Captain Rafi. Your story inspires me to pursue my dreams, even when the odds seem stacked against me, she wrote. Rafi felt a warmth in his heart. You're the future of aviation, Jasmine. Keep pushing forward and remember that your voice matters. As the mentorship program flourished, Rafi began to notice a shift in the industry. More and more organizations were recognizing the value of diversity, and conversations about inclusion were becoming a standard part of industry conferences and discussions. However, not everything was smooth sailing. Rafi still faced opposition from some quarters. A few industry veterans were resistant to change, clinging to outdated notions of what a typical pilot should be. Rafi encountered skepticism during panel discussions, where some attendees questioned the need for diversity initiatives. During one particularly challenging panel, an audience member challenged Rafi directly. Why should we prioritize diversity over merit? Isn't that reverse discrimination? Rafi took a deep breath, reminding himself of the importance of patience and understanding. Diversity and merit are not mutually exclusive. In fact, diverse teams often outperform homogeneous ones because they bring different perspectives and experiences to the table. It's about leveling the playing field so that everyone has the opportunity to showcase their merit. The discussion continued, and Rafi felt a renewed sense of determination. He knew that changing minds would take time, but he was committed to advocating for inclusion in aviation, no matter the resistance he faced. As the year progressed, Rafi received an invitation to speak at a major aviation conference. The theme was "The Future of Aviation, Embracing Diversity." Rafi saw this as a significant opportunity to reach a broader audience and share his message. On the day of the conference, Rafi stood before a packed auditorium, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. As he began his speech, he reflected on how far he had come since that fateful day at the airport. Today, we are at a crossroads in the aviation industry, he began. We have the chance to redefine what it means to be a pilot, an engineer, a leader in this field. Embracing diversity is not just a trend, it's essential for our future. He shared stories of young pilots who had overcome obstacles, emphasizing the importance of creating pathways for underrepresented groups. Rafi urged the audience to take action, whether by supporting mentorship programs, advocating for inclusive hiring practices, or simply engaging in conversations about diversity. As he concluded his speech, the audience erupted in applause. Rafi felt a rush of gratitude and hope. He knew that change was possible, and together, they could transform the aviation industry. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to advocate for diversity and inclusion, collaborating with various organizations and mentoring young professionals. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment, knowing that his efforts were making a difference. One evening, as he sat in his living room reflecting on his journey, Rafi received a call from Maria. "Rafi, I just wanted to say how proud I am of everything you've accomplished. Your advocacy is paving the way for so many." "Thank you, Maria. It's been a team effort and I couldn't have done it without the support of people like you," Rafi replied, feeling a sense of camaraderie. As they spoke, Rafi realized that the fight for inclusion in aviation was far from over, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together with his allies, he would continue to navigate the skies toward a more equitable future, ensuring that every aspiring aviation professional had the opportunity to soar. As Rafi continued his advocacy work, he found himself increasingly involved in various initiatives aimed at promoting diversity in aviation. The mentorship program had expanded significantly, and he was thrilled to see the positive impact it was having on young professionals. More than ever, he felt that he was part of a larger movement, one that was gradually shifting the culture within the industry. One day, Rafi received an invitation to attend a summit on diversity in transportation, organized by a coalition of industry leaders and advocacy groups. The summit promised to bring together a diverse array of voices to discuss strategies for fostering inclusion across various sectors, including aviation, rail, and public transit. Rafi was excited about the opportunity to connect with other advocates and share insights from his experiences. At the summit, Rafi was struck by the diversity of the participants. There were leaders from different backgrounds, each with their own unique stories and perspectives on the challenges of discrimination and bias in their respective fields. He felt a sense of solidarity as they shared their experiences and strategies for creating change. During one of the breakout sessions, Rafi met a woman named Aisha, who worked in public transit advocacy. She shared her own struggles with bias in her career and the importance of representation in leadership roles. It's not just about having diverse employees, it's about having diverse voices at the decision-making table, she emphasized. Rafi nodded in agreement. Absolutely. We need to ensure that our organizations reflect the communities we serve. It's about building trust and understanding. As the summit progressed, Rafi participated in various discussions, sharing insights from the mentorship program and the training initiatives he had helped implement. He was inspired by the collaborative spirit of the event, and he left feeling invigorated and motivated. Back home, Rafi received an email from the airline he had partnered with for the nationwide initiative. They wanted to schedule a follow-up meeting to discuss the next steps in their collaboration. Rafi was eager to continue the momentum they had built and was excited about the possibilities ahead. During the meeting, the airline's leadership team expressed their gratitude for Rafi's contributions. Your insights have been invaluable in shaping our approach to diversity and inclusion, the CEO said. We want to take this a step further by launching a scholarship program for underrepresented students pursuing careers in aviation. Rafi's eyes widened with excitement. That's an incredible idea. Scholarships can make a significant difference for students who may not have the financial means to pursue their dreams. The team discussed the details of the scholarship program, including eligibility criteria, application processes, and how to promote it effectively. Rafi felt a surge of pride knowing that they were creating pathways for future generations of aviation professionals. As the scholarship program launched, Rafi participated in outreach efforts at local schools and community organizations. He shared his story and encouraged students to apply. The response was overwhelming, with hundreds of applications pouring in. Rafi was thrilled to see so many young people eager to pursue careers in aviation. One afternoon, Rafi received a call from a high school senior named Malik, who had applied for the scholarship. "Thank you for taking the time to speak with me, Captain Rafi," Malik said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "I've always dreamed of becoming a pilot, but I wasn't sure how I could afford flight school." Rafi listened intently as Malik shared his story. "I've faced a lot of challenges, but I'm determined to make it work. Your story inspired me to apply for the scholarship, and I really hope I get it." "Malik, I believe in you," Rafi replied, feeling a connection to the young man's aspirations. "Keep working hard and don't let anything discourage you. The sky is the limit." As the scholarship program flourished, Rafi began to mentor some of the recipients. He was impressed by their passion and dedication. Each interaction reinforced his belief in the importance of fostering a supportive community for aspiring aviation professionals. However, Rafi was also aware of the challenges that lay ahead. Despite the progress being made, there were still voices of dissent within the industry. Some remained resistant to change, clinging to outdated notions of what a pilot should be. Rafi knew that he needed to continue advocating for inclusion, even in the face of opposition. One day, Rafi was invited to participate in a panel discussion at a major aviation conference. The topic was, "The Future of Aviation Embracing Diversity." Rafi felt honored to be part of such an important conversation, but he also knew that it would be an opportunity to address the ongoing resistance to change. As the panel began, Rafi listened to the other speakers share their insights. They discussed the benefits of diversity, the importance of representation, and the need for accountability within organizations. Rafi felt encouraged by the support for inclusion, but he also sensed an undercurrent of skepticism from some attendees. When it was his turn to speak, Rafi took a deep breath. Diversity is not just a buzzword, it's a necessity for the future of our industry. We cannot afford to ignore the voices of those who have been historically marginalized. By embracing diversity, we open ourselves up to new ideas, innovation, and growth. He shared personal anecdotes about the impact of mentorship and the importance of creating pathways for underrepresented groups. We need to ensure that our industry reflects the communities we serve. It's about building trust and fostering understanding. As he spoke, Rafi noticed a few audience members exchanging skeptical glances. He knew that changing minds would take time, but he was committed to advocating for inclusion, no matter the resistance he faced. After the panel, Rafi was approached by a young woman named Sarah, who was studying aviation management. "Thank you for your inspiring words, Captain Rafi. I've faced a lot of challenges as a woman in this industry, and hearing your story gives me hope." Rafi smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment. "You're not alone, Sarah. Keep pushing forward, and remember that your voice matters. Together, we can create a more inclusive aviation community." As the conference came to a close, Rafi felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was more determined than ever to continue advocating for diversity and inclusion in aviation. He knew that the journey would be long, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to mentor young aviation professionals, participate in industry discussions, and advocate for inclusive practices. He felt a sense of pride in the progress that was being made, but he also recognized that there was still much work to be done. One evening, as he sat in his living room reflecting on his journey, Rafi received a message from Malik. "Captain Rafi, I just wanted to let you know that I received the scholarship. Thank you for believing in me. I can't wait to start my flight training." Rafi's heart swelled with joy. "Congratulations, Malik. This is just the beginning of an incredible journey. Remember, I'm here to support you every step of the way." As he looked out at the horizon, Rafi felt a renewed sense of hope. He knew that by continuing to advocate for diversity and inclusion, he was helping to shape the future of aviation. Together with his allies, he would navigate the skies toward a more equitable industry, ensuring that every aspiring aviation professional had the opportunity to soar. As the scholarship program gained momentum, Rafi found himself increasingly engaged with the recipients. Each interaction filled him with a sense of purpose, and he was eager to see how these young talents would shape the future of aviation. The mentorship sessions became a highlight of his week, providing both him and the students with inspiration and motivation. One afternoon, Rafi organized a workshop for the scholarship recipients. He wanted to create an environment where they could share their experiences, ask questions, and learn from one another. The workshop was held at a local community center, and Rafi was excited to see the turnout. As the students arrived, Rafi greeted them with a warm smile. "Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to see you all here today. This is a space for you to connect, share your dreams, and ask any questions you might have about pursuing a career in aviation." The room buzzed with energy as the students settled in. Rafi began the session by sharing his own journey, from his early aspirations to becoming a pilot, to the challenges he faced along the way. He emphasized the importance of resilience and determination. "Every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow," he said, looking around the room. "Don't be afraid to face challenges head-on. You have the potential to make a difference in this industry." After his talk, Rafi opened the floor for questions. The students eagerly raised their hands, asking about flight training, navigating obstacles, and finding mentorship. Rafi answered each question thoughtfully, sharing practical advice and encouraging them to pursue their passions. One student, a young woman named Priya, spoke up. "Captain Rafi, what do you do when you feel discouraged? Sometimes it feels like the odds are stacked against me." Rafi nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "It's completely normal to feel discouraged at times. When that happens, I remind myself of my why, the reason I wanted to become a pilot in the first place. Surround yourself with supportive people, and don't hesitate to lean on your mentors. We're here to lift each other up." As the workshop continued, Rafi felt a sense of camaraderie forming among the students. They shared their dreams, fears, and aspirations, creating a supportive community that would last beyond the workshop. By the end of the session, Rafi could see the spark of determination in their eyes. In the following weeks, Rafi received an email from the airline's leadership team. They wanted to discuss the success of the scholarship program and explore ways to expand it further. Rafi was eager to hear their thoughts, During the meeting, the CEO expressed their excitement about the impact the program had made. "We've received incredible feedback from the recipients and their families. It's clear that this initiative is making a difference. We'd like to consider establishing partnerships with aviation schools across the country to reach even more students." Rafi's heart raced at the prospect. That's a fantastic idea. Partnering with aviation schools would not only increase awareness of the scholarship, but also provide students with resources and support throughout their training. The team discussed potential partnerships, outreach strategies, and ways to engage with schools to promote the scholarship program. Rafi felt invigorated by the possibilities ahead, knowing that they were taking significant steps toward creating a more inclusive aviation community. As the scholarship program expanded, Rafi continued to mentor the recipients, guiding them through their training and offering support whenever needed. One day, he received a message from Malik, who had recently started flight training. "Captain Rafi, I just completed my first solo flight. Thank you for all your encouragement. I couldn't have done it without your support." Rafi beamed with pride. "Congratulations, Malik. That's an incredible achievement. Remember, every flight is a step toward your dreams. Keep pushing forward." As the months passed, Rafi noticed a shift in the industry. More organizations began to prioritize diversity and inclusion, and conversations about representation became more mainstream. Rafi felt a sense of hope as he witnessed the positive changes taking place. However, he also knew that challenges remained. During a recent conference, Rafi encountered a panel of industry veterans who expressed skepticism about the need for diversity initiatives. "We've always hired based on merit. Why should we change our approach now?" one panelist argued. Rafi took a deep breath, ready to respond. Diversity and merit are not mutually exclusive. By fostering a diverse workforce, we're not only addressing historical inequities, but also enhancing our industry's overall performance. Diverse teams bring different perspectives that lead to innovative solutions. The discussion continued, and Rafi felt a renewed determination to advocate for inclusion. He understood that changing minds would take time, but he was committed to the cause. One evening, Rafi received a call from Laura, who had been working on a documentary about the impact of diversity in aviation. "Rafi, I'd love for you to be featured in the documentary. Your story and the scholarship program have inspired so many people, and I think it's important to share it with a wider audience." Rafi was honored by the invitation. "I'd be happy to participate, Laura. It's crucial that we continue to raise awareness about the importance of diversity in our industry." As filming began, Rafi shared his journey, the challenges he faced, and the successes of the scholarship program. He spoke passionately about the need for representation and the importance of creating pathways for aspiring aviation professionals. The documentary crew followed Rafi as he mentored students, attended conferences, and participated in discussions about diversity in aviation. He felt a sense of purpose as he shared his story, knowing that it could inspire others to take action. As the documentary neared completion, Rafi received an invitation to premiere it at a major aviation festival. The event promised to attract industry leaders, educators, and aspiring aviation professionals from around the country. Rafi was excited about the opportunity to share the message of inclusion with a broader audience. On the day of the premiere, Rafi felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. As he stood in front of the audience, he reflected on how far he had come since his early days in aviation. He was no longer just a pilot, he was an advocate for change. After the screening, Rafi participated in a panel discussion alongside industry leaders and educators. The conversation focused on the importance of diversity in aviation and the impact of mentorship programs. Rafi shared stories of the scholarship recipients and their journeys, highlighting the transformative power of support and encouragement. As the panel concluded, the audience erupted in applause. Rafi felt a rush of gratitude, knowing that their collective efforts were making a difference. He was inspired by the conversations that followed, as attendees discussed ways to implement similar initiatives in their organizations. In the weeks that followed, Rafi continued to receive messages of support and interest in the scholarship program. More organizations began to reach out, eager to collaborate and create pathways for aspiring aviation professionals. One day, Rafi received a message from Priya, one of the workshop attendees. "Captain Rafi, I just wanted to let you know that I've been accepted into flight school. Thank you for believing in me and inspiring me to pursue my dreams." Tears of joy filled Rafi's eyes as he read her message. "Congratulations, Priya. This is just the beginning of an incredible journey. Remember, I'm here to support you every step of the way." As Rafi reflected on his journey, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He had faced challenges, but he had also witnessed the power of community, mentorship, and advocacy. Together with his allies, he was helping to shape a more inclusive aviation industry, ensuring that every aspiring aviation professional had the opportunity to soar. As the sun set on the horizon, Rafi looked forward with hope. He knew that the journey was far from over, but he was ready to continue advocating for change, inspiring the next generation of aviation professionals, and navigating the skies toward a brighter future. Sure, here's part 8 of the story, continuing Rafi's journey as he navigates the challenges and triumphs of advocating for diversity and inclusion in the aviation industry. As Rafi settled into the rhythm of mentoring and advocacy, he found himself reflecting on the incredible journey he had undertaken. The scholarship program was flourishing, and he felt a deep sense of pride in the impact it was having on young, aspiring aviators. Each success story fueled his passion and commitment to fostering diversity in the industry. One day, Rafi received an invitation to speak at an international aviation conference. The theme was Aviation for All, Embracing Diversity and Inclusion. Rafi was honored to be recognized as a thought leader in this space and eagerly accepted the invitation. In the weeks leading up to the conference, Rafi worked diligently to prepare his presentation. He wanted to share not only his own experiences, but also the stories of the scholarship recipients who had overcome obstacles to pursue their dreams. He believed that their journeys would resonate with attendees and inspire action. On the day of the conference, Rafi arrived at the venue, a sprawling convention center filled with aviation professionals from around the world. As he walked through the bustling halls, he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. This was an opportunity to amplify the message of inclusion on a global stage. When it was time for his presentation, Rafi took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The audience was a sea of faces: pilots, airline executives, educators, and students, all eager to hear his insights. Rafi began by sharing his personal story, detailing the challenges he faced as a minority in the aviation industry. He spoke of the importance of representation and the need for systemic change. "Diversity is not just a moral imperative, it's a business necessity," Rafi asserted. "When we embrace different perspectives, we drive innovation and enhance our ability to serve diverse communities." He then shifted to highlight the impact of the scholarship program. Rafi shared testimonials from recipients, showcasing their journeys and the hurdles they had overcome. He spoke of Malik, Priya, and other students who had defied the odds to pursue their dreams. Their stories were powerful reminders of the potential that lay within every aspiring aviator. As he concluded his presentation, Rafi encouraged the audience to take action. "We all have a role to play in creating a more inclusive aviation industry. Whether you're a pilot, an executive, or an educator, your voice matters. Let's work together to ensure that every aspiring aviator has the opportunity to soar." The audience erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a rush of gratitude. He knew that he had struck a chord, and he was hopeful that his message would inspire change. After the presentation, Rafi was approached by several attendees eager to discuss collaboration opportunities. One woman, an airline executive named Elena, expressed her enthusiasm. "Rafi, your presentation was incredibly inspiring. I would love to explore how we can partner to promote diversity initiatives within our airline." Rafi felt a spark of excitement at the prospect. "I would be thrilled to collaborate, Elena. Together, we can create impactful programs that empower underrepresented groups in aviation." As the conference continued, Rafi engaged in meaningful conversations with industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He shared ideas, exchanged contact information, and laid the groundwork for future collaborations. The energy in the room was palpable, and Rafi felt hopeful about the direction the industry was heading. In the following weeks, Rafi continued to build on the connections he had made at the conference. He collaborated with Elena and her team to develop a comprehensive diversity training program for the airline. They aimed to implement best practices and create a culture of inclusion within the organization. Meanwhile, Rafi remained dedicated to mentoring the scholarship recipients. He organized regular check-ins to track their progress and provide guidance. One evening, during a virtual meeting with the students, Rafi noticed a shift in their confidence. They were becoming more vocal, sharing their experiences and supporting one another. "Captain Rafi, I've been working on my flight simulator skills," Malik shared excitedly. "I feel more prepared for my next training session." "That's fantastic, Malik. Practice makes perfect," Rafi responded, beaming with pride. "Keep pushing yourself and remember that every small step brings you closer to your goals." As the scholarship program continued to thrive, Rafi received a call from Laura, who was working on the documentary about diversity in aviation. "Rafi, we've been invited to screen the documentary at an international film festival. It's a great opportunity to reach a wider audience and raise awareness about the importance of inclusion in aviation." Rafi was thrilled by the news. "That's amazing, Laura. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together. This could really help amplify our message." The festival was held in a vibrant city known for its rich cultural diversity. As Rafi and Laura arrived at the venue, they were greeted by a crowd of filmmakers, activists, and aviation enthusiasts. The atmosphere was electric, and Rafi felt a sense of excitement as they prepared for the screening. After the documentary was shown, Rafi participated in a panel discussion alongside other advocates for diversity in aviation. The audience was engaged, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. Rafi felt a strong sense of community as they collectively explored ways to foster inclusion in the industry. During the discussion, a young filmmaker approached Rafi with a question. "What advice would you give to someone who wants to advocate for diversity in their own field?" Rafi smiled, reflecting on his journey. "Start by sharing your story. Your experiences matter, and they can inspire others. Build a network of support, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Change takes time, but every small action contributes to a larger movement." After the panel, Rafi was approached by a group of students who had attended the screening. They expressed their admiration for his work and shared their aspirations to pursue careers in aviation. Rafi felt a sense of fulfillment as he connected with the next generation of aspiring aviators. "Remember, you have the power to create change," he told them. "Stay focused on your goals and don't hesitate to reach out for support. We're all in this together." As the festival came to a close, Rafi reflected on the impact of the documentary and the conversations it had sparked. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their efforts were resonating with audiences far and wide. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to engage with industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He participated in workshops, conferences, and community events, spreading the message of diversity and inclusion. The scholarship program expanded further, reaching even more aspiring aviators. One day, Rafi received a message from Priya, who had recently completed her flight training. "Captain Rafi, I just passed my check ride. I'm officially a licensed pilot. Thank you for all your support along the way." Tears of joy filled Rafi's eyes as he read her message. "Congratulations, Priya. This is a monumental achievement. I'm so proud of you and can't wait to see where your journey takes you next." As Rafi continued to mentor and support the scholarship recipients, he felt a sense of pride in the community they had built together. They were not just aspiring pilots, they were advocates for change, each with their own unique stories and aspirations. However, Rafi also recognized that challenges still lay ahead. The industry was evolving, but there were still pockets of resistance to change. Rafi knew that he needed to remain vigilant and continue advocating for diversity and inclusion, even in the face of opposition. One evening, as he sat in his living room reflecting on the journey, Rafi received a call from Elena. "Rafi, I wanted to update you on the diversity training program we implemented. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're seeing a shift in the culture within our airline." Rafi felt a surge of pride. "That's fantastic news, Elena. I'm thrilled to hear that our efforts are making a difference." As Rafi continued to navigate the complexities of advocacy and mentorship, he remained committed to the cause. He knew that change was a journey, not a destination, and he was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. With each passing day, Rafi felt a renewed sense of hope for the future of aviation. He was determined to continue advocating for diversity, inspiring the next generation of aviators, and ensuring that every aspiring professional had the opportunity to soar. As the sun set on the horizon, Rafi looked forward with optimism. The skies were vast and open, filled with endless possibilities. Together with his allies, he was ready to navigate new frontiers, shaping a more inclusive aviation industry for generations to come. As Rafi continued his work in advocacy and mentorship, he found himself reflecting on the profound changes he had witnessed in the aviation industry. The scholarship program was thriving, and the community he had helped build was growing stronger every day. Each success story from the scholarship recipients filled him with hope and determination. One day, Rafi received an invitation to speak at a prestigious aviation symposium focused on the future of the industry. The theme was Innovation and Inclusion, Charting the Course for Tomorrow. Excited about the opportunity to share his insights on the importance of diversity, Rafi began preparing his presentation. In the weeks leading up to the symposium, he immersed himself in research about the latest trends in aviation technology and how diversity could drive innovation. He wanted to illustrate that a diverse workforce not only enhances creativity, but also leads to better problem-solving and decision-making. On the day of the symposium, Rafi arrived at the venue, a modern conference center buzzing with energy and anticipation. As he walked through the halls, he saw familiar faces, industry leaders, educators, and fellow advocates. The atmosphere was electric, and Rafi felt a surge of excitement as he prepared to take the stage. When it was time for his presentation, Rafi stepped into the spotlight, greeted by a warm round of applause. He began by sharing his personal journey, highlighting the obstacles he had faced and the importance of perseverance. He then transitioned into the core of his message. "Today, we stand at a crossroads in aviation," Rafi declared. "The challenges we face, climate change, technological disruption, and evolving passenger needs, require innovative solutions. And innovation thrives in diverse environments. When we bring together people from different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives, we unlock new ideas and approaches." Rafi shared compelling statistics about the benefits of diversity in the workplace, emphasizing that companies with diverse teams are more likely to outperform their competitors. He illustrated how diversity could lead to breakthroughs in safety, customer service, and operational efficiency. He then shifted focus to the scholarship program, showcasing the achievements of its recipients. These young aviators are not just the future of our industry, they are a testament to the power of inclusion. By investing in diverse talent, we are investing in the future of aviation itself. As Rafi concluded his presentation, he encouraged attendees to take action. "Let's commit to fostering an inclusive environment in our organizations. Together, we can create a culture where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute. The future of aviation depends on it." The audience erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a rush of gratitude. It was clear that his message had resonated, and he was hopeful that it would inspire meaningful change. After the presentation, Rafi was approached by several attendees eager to discuss collaboration opportunities. One executive named Marcus expressed his interest in partnering to develop a mentorship program within his airline. "Rafi, your insights were incredibly inspiring. I want to ensure we're doing our part to promote diversity in our organization," he said. "I would love to collaborate, Marcus," Rafi replied, feeling invigorated by the prospect. "Together, we can create a mentorship program that empowers aspiring aviators and fosters a culture of inclusion." As the symposium continued, Rafi engaged in meaningful conversations with industry leaders and advocates. He shared ideas, exchanged contact information, and laid the groundwork for future collaborations. The energy in the room was palpable, and Rafi felt hopeful about the direction the industry was heading. In the following weeks, Rafi worked closely with Marcus and his team to develop the mentorship program. They outlined goals, defined the structure, and identified potential mentors within the airline. Rafi was excited to see the program take shape, knowing that it would create valuable opportunities for aspiring aviators. Meanwhile, Rafi continued to support the scholarship recipients, organizing regular check-ins to track their progress and provide guidance. One evening, during a virtual meeting with the students, Rafi noticed a transformation in their confidence and camaraderie. "Captain Rafi, I've been practicing my cross-country flying, and I feel more prepared for my upcoming solo flight," Malik shared excitedly. "That's fantastic, Malik. Every practice flight brings you closer to your goals," Rafi responded, beaming with pride. "Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all here to support each other." As the scholarship program continued to thrive, Rafi received a call from Laura, who was working on the documentary about diversity in aviation. "Rafi, we've received an invitation to screen the documentary at an international aviation festival. It's a fantastic opportunity to reach a wider audience and raise awareness about the importance of inclusion in aviation." Rafi was thrilled by the news. "That's amazing, Laura. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together. This could really help amplify our message." The festival was held in a vibrant city known for its rich cultural diversity. As Rafi and Laura arrived at the venue, they were greeted by a crowd of filmmakers, activists, and aviation enthusiasts. The atmosphere was electric, and Rafi felt a sense of excitement as they prepared for the screening. After the documentary was shown, Rafi participated in a panel discussion alongside other advocates for diversity in aviation. The audience was engaged, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. Rafi felt a strong sense of community as they collectively explored ways to foster inclusion in the industry. During the discussion, a young filmmaker approached Rafi with a question. "What advice would you give to someone who wants to advocate for diversity in their own field?" Rafi smiled, reflecting on his journey. "Start by sharing your story. Your experiences matter, and they can inspire others. Build a network of support, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Change takes time, but every small action contributes to a larger movement." After the panel, Rafi was approached by a group of students who had attended the screening. They expressed their admiration for his work and shared their aspirations to pursue careers in aviation. Rafi felt a sense of fulfillment as he connected with the next generation of aspiring aviators. "Remember, you have the power to create change," he told them. "Stay focused on your goals, and don't hesitate to reach out for support. We're all in this together." As the festival came to a close, Rafi reflected on the impact of the documentary and the conversations it had sparked. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their efforts were resonating with audiences far and wide. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to engage with industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He participated in workshops, conferences, and community events, spreading the message of diversity and inclusion. The scholarship program expanded further, reaching even more aspiring aviators. One day, Rafi received a message from Priya, who had recently completed her flight training. "Captain Rafi, I just passed my check ride. I'm officially a licensed pilot. Thank you for all your support along the way." Tears of joy filled Rafi's eyes as he read her message. "Congratulations, Priya. This is a monumental achievement. I'm so proud of you and can't wait to see where your journey takes you next." As Rafi continued to mentor and support the scholarship recipients, he felt a sense of pride in the community they had built together. They were not just aspiring pilots, they were advocates for change, each with their own unique stories and aspirations. However, Rafi also recognized that challenges still lay ahead. The industry was evolving, but there were still pockets of resistance to change. Rafi knew that he needed to remain vigilant and continue advocating for diversity and inclusion, even in the face of opposition. One evening, as he sat in his living room reflecting on the journey, Rafi received a call from Elena. "Rafi, I wanted to update you on the diversity training program we implemented. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're seeing a shift in the culture within our airline." Rafi felt a surge of pride. "That's fantastic news, Elena. I'm thrilled to hear that our efforts are making a difference." As Rafi continued to navigate the complexities of advocacy and mentorship, He remained committed to the cause. He knew that change was a journey, not a destination, and he was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. With each passing day, Rafi felt a renewed sense of hope for the future of aviation. He was determined to continue advocating for diversity, inspiring the next generation of aviators, and ensuring that every aspiring professional had the opportunity to soar. As the sun set on the horizon, Rafi looked forward with optimism. The skies were vast and open, filled with endless possibilities. Together with his allies, he was ready to navigate new frontiers, shaping a more inclusive aviation industry for generations to come. As Rafi stepped into the new year, he felt a sense of anticipation for the opportunities that lay ahead. The scholarship program had gained significant traction, and the mentorship initiatives were flourishing. More aspiring aviators were reaching out, eager to learn and grow, and Rafi was determined to continue paving the way for them. One morning, Rafi received an email from the International Aviation Federation, inviting him to be a keynote speaker at their annual conference. The theme was Empowering Future Leaders in Aviation, and Rafi was honored to be part of such an important event. He saw this as another chance to share the stories of the scholarship recipients and the impact of diversity in the industry. In the weeks leading up to the conference, Rafi spent hours crafting his presentation. He wanted to highlight not only his own journey, but also the transformative experiences of the young aviators he had mentored. He planned to emphasize the importance of leadership in fostering inclusive environments. On the day of the conference, Rafi arrived at the grand venue, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The conference hall was filled with industry professionals, educators, and students, all eager to engage in discussions about the future of aviation. Rafi took a moment to soak in the atmosphere before preparing to take the stage. When it was time for his keynote address, Rafi stepped into the spotlight, greeted by enthusiastic applause. He began by sharing his personal story, detailing the challenges he had faced as a minority in aviation. He spoke passionately about the importance of representation and the responsibility of current leaders to mentor the next generation. Leadership is not just about authority, it's about empowerment, Rafi stated. As leaders, we must create spaces where diverse voices are heard and valued. We have the power to shape the future of our industry. Rafi then transitioned to share the stories of the scholarship recipients, highlighting their achievements and aspirations. He spoke of Malik, Priya, and others who had faced significant obstacles, yet remained resilient in their pursuit of aviation careers. Their journeys were a testament to the power of mentorship and community support. Each of these young aviators represents a unique perspective, a different story, Rafi emphasized. When we invest in their success, we're not just changing individual lives, we're enriching the entire aviation community. As Rafi concluded his address, he encouraged the audience to take action. Let's commit to being mentors, advocates, and allies. Together, we can create a culture of inclusion that empowers the next generation of leaders in aviation. The audience erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. It was clear that his message had resonated, and he hoped it would inspire attendees to take meaningful steps toward fostering diversity in their organizations. After the keynote, Rafi was approached by several attendees eager to discuss collaboration opportunities. One woman named Sarah, a representative from a major airline, expressed her enthusiasm. Rafi, your presentation was incredibly inspiring. I'd love to explore how we can partner to enhance our diversity initiatives. I would be thrilled to collaborate, Sarah, Rafi replied, energized by the prospect. Together, we can develop programs that empower aspiring aviators and create a more inclusive environment. As the conference progressed, Rafi engaged in meaningful conversations with industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He shared ideas, exchanged contact information, and laid the groundwork for future collaborations. The energy in the room was palpable, and Rafi felt hopeful about the direction the industry was heading. In the following weeks, Rafi worked closely with Sarah and her team to develop a comprehensive diversity initiative within her airline. They outlined goals, defined the structure, and identified potential mentors within the organization. Rafi was excited to see the program take shape, knowing it would create valuable opportunities for aspiring aviators. Meanwhile, the scholarship program continued to thrive. Rafi organized regular workshops for the recipients, inviting industry professionals to share their insights and experiences. One evening, during a virtual workshop, Rafi noticed a remarkable transformation in the students' confidence and camaraderie. "Captain Rafi, I just completed my first solo flight," Priya exclaimed during one of the sessions. "It was exhilarating." "That's incredible, Priya. I'm so proud of you," Rafi responded, beaming with pride. "Your hard work is paying off, and this is just the beginning of your journey." As the months rolled on, Rafi received updates from other scholarship recipients. Malik had secured an internship with a regional airline, gaining invaluable experience in the cockpit. He was eager to share his journey with the group. "Captain Rafi, I can't believe I'm flying real routes now. It's a dream come true," Malik shared during a group call. Rafi felt a swell of pride as he listened to Malik's excitement. "That's amazing, Malik. Your dedication is truly inspiring. Remember, every flight is a learning opportunity, so embrace each moment." As the scholarship program expanded, Rafi also recognized the importance of creating a support network for the recipients. He organized networking events where students could connect with industry professionals, share experiences, and build relationships. The events became a platform for collaboration, mentorship, and friendship. One evening, at a networking event, Rafi watched as the scholarship recipients mingled with industry professionals. He felt a sense of fulfillment as he witnessed the connections being made. The atmosphere was filled with laughter, encouragement, and shared aspirations. During the event, Rafi was approached by a young woman named Emma, who had recently graduated from flight school. "Captain Rafi, I've been following your work and it's inspired me to pursue a career in aviation. I want to give back to my community just like you." Rafi smiled warmly. "That's wonderful to hear, Emma. Your passion for giving back is commendable. Remember, mentorship is a two-way street. As you grow in your career, consider how you can uplift others along the way." As Rafi continued to mentor and support the scholarship recipients, he felt a sense of pride in the community they had built together. They were not just aspiring pilots, they were advocates for change, each with their unique stories and aspirations. However, Rafi also recognized that challenges still lay ahead. The aviation industry was evolving, but there were still pockets of resistance to change. He knew that he needed to remain vigilant and continue advocating for diversity and inclusion, even in the face of opposition. One evening, as he sat in his living room reflecting on the journey, Rafi received a call from Laura. "Rafi, we've been invited to screen the documentary at an international film festival. It's a fantastic opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of inclusion in aviation." Rafi was thrilled by the news. "That's amazing, Laura. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together. This could really help amplify our message." The film festival was held in a vibrant city known for its rich cultural diversity. As Rafi and Laura arrived at the venue, they were greeted by a crowd of filmmakers, activists, and aviation enthusiasts. The atmosphere was electric, and Rafi felt a sense of excitement as they prepared for the screening. After the documentary was shown, Rafi participated in a panel discussion alongside other advocates for diversity in aviation. The audience was engaged, asking questions and sharing their experiences. Rafi felt a strong sense of community as they collectively explored ways to foster inclusion in the industry. During the discussion, a young filmmaker approached Rafi with a question. "What advice would you give to someone who wants to advocate for diversity in their own field?" Rafi smiled, reflecting on his journey. "Start by sharing your story. Your experiences matter and they can inspire others. Build a network of support, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Change takes time, but every small action contributes to a larger movement." After the panel, Rafi was approached by a group of students who had attended the screening. They expressed their admiration for his work and shared their aspirations to pursue careers in aviation. Rafi felt a sense of fulfillment as he connected with the next generation of aspiring aviators. "Remember, you have the power to create change," he told them. "Stay focused on your goals, and don't hesitate to reach out for support. We're all in this together." As the festival came to a close, Rafi reflected on the impact of the documentary and the conversations it had sparked. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their efforts were resonating with audiences far and wide. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to engage with industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He participated in workshops, conferences, and community events, spreading the message of diversity and inclusion. The scholarship program expanded further, reaching even more aspiring aviators. One day, Rafi received a message from Priya, who had recently completed her flight training. "Captain Rafi, I just passed my check ride. I'm officially a licensed pilot. Thank you for all your support along the way." Tears of joy filled Rafi's eyes as he read her message. "Congratulations, Priya. This is a monumental achievement. I'm so proud of you and can't wait to see where your journey takes you next." As Rafi continued to mentor and support the scholarship recipients, he felt a sense of pride in the community they had built together. They were not just aspiring pilots, they were advocates for change, each with their own unique stories and aspirations. As Rafi looked to the future, he felt a renewed sense of hope. The skies were vast and open, filled with endless possibilities. Together with his allies, he was ready to navigate new frontiers, shaping a more inclusive aviation industry for generations to come. As spring approached, Rafi felt a surge of optimism. The scholarship program was thriving, and the network of aspiring aviators was expanding. With each passing day, more students were stepping forward, eager to pursue their dreams in aviation. Embrace the process and you'll grow more than you can imagine. As the mentorship program continued to thrive, Rafi received an invitation to speak at a national aviation conference focused on innovation and inclusion. He was excited about the opportunity to share the successes of the outreach campaign and the stories of the students he had mentored. On the day of the conference, Rafi stood before a packed audience of industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He began by sharing the goals of the outreach campaign, emphasizing the importance of reaching underserved communities. "Today, we have the chance to change lives," Rafi stated passionately. "By investing in diverse talent, we're not only enriching our industry but also ensuring that the future of aviation reflects the world we live in." He shared heartwarming stories of students who had overcome challenges to pursue their dreams. Rafi spoke of Sophia, Ethan, and Priya, highlighting their journeys and the support they received through the mentorship program. As we look to the future, let us remember that diversity is not just a checkbox, it's a catalyst for innovation, Rafi concluded. Together, we can create a culture that empowers every aspiring aviator to take flight. The audience erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a rush of gratitude. It was clear that his message had resonated, and he hoped it would inspire attendees to take meaningful steps toward fostering diversity in their organizations. After the presentation, Rafi was approached by several attendees eager to discuss collaboration opportunities. One executive named Laura expressed her enthusiasm. "Rafi, your insights were incredibly inspiring. I'd love to explore how we can partner to enhance our diversity initiatives." "I would be thrilled to collaborate, Laura," Rafi replied, energized by the prospect. "Together, we can develop programs that empower aspiring aviators and create a more inclusive environment." As the months rolled on, Rafi continued to travel, conducting workshops and mentorship sessions across the country. The outreach campaign had made a tangible impact, and he was proud of the growing community of aspiring aviators. One evening, after a particularly successful workshop, Rafi received a message from Malik. "Captain Rafi, I just got my first job offer as a first officer. I can't thank you enough for your support." Tears of joy filled Rafi's eyes as he read Malik's message. "Congratulations, Malik. This is a monumental achievement. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see where your journey takes you next." As Rafi continued to mentor and support the scholarship recipients, he felt a sense of pride in the community they had built together. They were not just aspiring pilots, they were advocates for change, each with their own unique stories and aspirations. However, Rafi also recognized that challenges still lay ahead. The aviation industry was evolving, but there were still pockets of resistance to change. He knew that he needed to remain vigilant and continue advocating for diversity and inclusion, even in the face of opposition. One day, as Rafi was preparing for another workshop, he received a call from Laura. "Rafi, we've been invited to present our diversity initiatives at an international aviation summit. It's a fantastic opportunity to showcase our work." Rafi was thrilled by the news. "That's amazing, Laura. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together. This could really help amplify our message." As the summit approached, Rafi and Laura prepared their presentation, highlighting the successes of the outreach campaign and the impact it had on aspiring aviators. They wanted to demonstrate that diversity was not just a goal, it was a pathway to innovation and progress. On the day of the summit, Rafi stood before a diverse audience of industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He began by sharing the goals of the outreach campaign, emphasizing the importance of reaching underserved communities. "Today, we have the chance to change lives," Rafi stated passionately. "By investing in diverse talent, we're not only enriching our industry, but also ensuring that the future of aviation reflects the world we live in." He shared heartwarming stories of students who had overcome challenges to pursue their dreams. Rafi spoke of Sophia, Ethan, and Priya, highlighting their journeys and the support they received through the mentorship program. As we look to the future, let us remember that diversity is not just a checkbox, it's a catalyst for innovation, Rafi concluded. "Together, we can create a culture that empowers every aspiring aviator to take flight." The audience erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a rush of gratitude. It was clear that his message had resonated, and he hoped it would inspire attendees to take meaningful steps toward fostering diversity in their organizations. As the summit came to a close, Rafi reflected on the journey he had undertaken. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that their efforts were resonating with audiences far and wide. The future of aviation was bright, and he was committed to ensuring that every aspiring aviator had the opportunity to soar. With each passing day, Rafi continued to advocate for change, mentor the next generation, and build a more inclusive aviation community. The skies were vast and open, filled with endless possibilities. Together with his allies, he was ready to navigate new frontiers, shaping a more inclusive aviation industry for generations to come. Sure, here's the conclusion of Rafi's journey, wrapping up the story. As Rafi continued his advocacy for diversity and inclusion in aviation, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The scholarship program had blossomed into a robust network of aspiring aviators, each empowered to chase their dreams. The impact of his work was evident in the stories of the students who had transformed their lives through mentorship and support. One sunny afternoon, Rafi gathered with his scholarship recipients for a celebration event. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as they shared their accomplishments and future aspirations. Priya, now a licensed pilot, stood up to speak. "Captain Rafi, your guidance has changed my life. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I'm proud to say that I'm now part of a new generation of aviators, ready to make a difference," she said, her voice filled with emotion. The room erupted in applause, and Rafi felt a wave of pride wash over him. He realized that this was the true essence of his work, empowering others to soar to new heights. As the celebration continued, Rafi reflected on the journey he had taken. From his own challenges in the aviation industry to the creation of the scholarship program, he had witnessed firsthand the power of resilience, community, and mentorship. Each success story was a reminder that change was possible when individuals came together with a shared vision. In the months that followed, Rafi continued to expand the outreach campaign, collaborating with schools and organizations across the country. He hosted workshops, mentorship sessions, and networking events, always emphasizing the importance of inclusion in aviation. One day, he received an invitation to speak at a global aviation summit. The theme was, "The Future of Aviation, Embracing Diversity and Innovation." Rafi was honored to represent the voices of aspiring aviators and share the successes of the scholarship program on an international stage. At the summit, Rafi stood before a diverse audience of industry leaders, educators, and advocates. He began by sharing the transformative stories of the scholarship recipients, emphasizing the importance of creating pathways for underrepresented communities in aviation. Diversity is not just a goal, it's a necessity for innovation, Rafi asserted. When we embrace different perspectives, we create a stronger, more resilient industry that can adapt to the challenges of the future. As he concluded his speech, Rafi felt a renewed sense of hope. The audience responded with enthusiasm, eager to engage in discussions about fostering inclusion in their organizations. After the summit, Rafi was approached by several industry leaders who expressed interest in collaborating on diversity initiatives. He was excited to see the momentum building and knew that change was on the horizon. Years later, as Rafi looked back on his journey, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. The scholarship program had grown beyond his wildest dreams, impacting countless lives and reshaping the aviation landscape. He had become a mentor, advocate, and ally, dedicated to ensuring that every aspiring aviator had the opportunity to take flight. Rafi's legacy was not just about his own achievements, it was about the community he had built and the lives he had touched. Each student who soared into the skies was a testament to the power of inclusion and the belief that everyone deserves a chance to follow their dreams. As he watched a new generation of pilots take off into the horizon, Rafi knew that the future of aviation was bright. Together, they were charting a course toward a more inclusive and innovative industry, where diversity thrived and every voice was heard. And so, Rafi's journey continued, fueled by the passion to inspire others and the unwavering belief that the sky was not the limit. It was just the beginning.